What is up, my fish tank guys and girls? So as you can tell from the title of the video, today I'm going to be reviewing an aquarium heater. It is the Hygger aquarium heater. The model number is actually HG925. This is a 200 watt quartz aquarium heater. Now I need to do a brief disclaimer and let you guys know that Hygger actually sent me this heater for review, but it wasn't in exchange for a positive review or so many views or anything like that. It was simply for me to review the heater as I see fit. So I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion of this heater. I did do some rigorous testing as far as heaters go, and I will let you guys know if it's worth your money and if it's a good investment for your very precious reef tank. So I'm going to briefly take you guys through the components of the heater before I actually give you my opinion and review of it. Now, the first component here is the LCD screen. It has a suction cup on the back you can put on the side of the aquarium. It has a button here to set the temperature, very simple. And then it has two lights on it, one that says heat and one that says keep. The one that said heat turns on when the heater is actually heating, surprise. And the other that says keep, that light is on when the aquarium is where you want it to be, so the heater is basically off. So this is very nice. Like I said, it has a suction cup you can put on the side of the aquarium. It's very easy to see, easy to read, so I really like this aspect of it. I should be telling you that at the end, but there you go. There's the first component. The second component, let's see here, is this guy. This is a temperature probe. Now the nice thing about an aquarium heater having a separate temperature probe is you can put it somewhere else in your tank to make sure that your heat is evenly distributed. Now, a lot of times aquarium heaters have the temperature sensor built right into the aquarium itself, and if you have the heater in a small rear chamber and the water in that chamber is heating but it's not flowing out fast enough, you're going to get kind of an inaccurate reading. The heater is going to think the water is actually warmer than it is in the rest of your display tank, so having a separate temperature probe is very nice. Now, last but certainly not least is the heater itself. This is it right here. It has a plastic casing around the quartz heater. Okay, that is just to, prevent things from melting or it getting too hot and, touching other things. I don't really know. It has two suction cups. You can't take it out of the plastic casing. Maybe you could try if you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. And so there you go. That's what the heater itself looks like. So last component before I get into the review of the heater is how much does this guy cost? This is actually a $50 heater on Amazon. I will have a link to the product in the description below with a 5% off coupon code that you guys can use. So definitely go ahead and do that. And yeah, it's a $50 heater. Like I said, it's 200 watts and it's rated for 15 to 30 gallons. So what did I actually think about this heater? Well, rather than just put it in my tank and see if the temperature maintained for a week or so, I actually did two different tests. I tested the heater on my Fluval Evo here, which is a 13.5 gallon aquarium, so the lower end of the rating in terms of aquariums that it's good for. And I also put it in my saltwater, my new saltwater bin that had roughly 30 to 40 gallons of water. So I tested the higher end of what this heater is, supposed to be able to handle. Now keep in mind, both of these tests were done in the basement of my house, which is a little cooler. So the heater needs to work a little bit harder to keep up. But I definitely want to do that to see if this heater could be put through its paces and still maintain the temperature I wanted. Now, my first test with the Fluval Evo went really well. I set it at 78 degrees, and almost every time I checked the heater, the temperature of the aquarium was 78 degrees. In addition, I also double-checked the temperature using a glass thermometer that I trust very much. So that tells me that the temperature probe of this heater is pretty accurate, which is one of the most important components of an aquarium heater. And then in addition, the way that everything else worked together, the display setting the temp and the heater itself, keeping this small aquarium at that temperature at almost all times worked perfectly. Now for my bigger test, I actually put this aquarium heater into my giant garbage bin of new salt water, right? It doesn't actually have garbage in it. It's very clean salt water, right? So I put this I put the heater in that new batch of water that was very, very cold at the time, and I let it warm it up to temperature. It had no problem warming it up to temperature, and again, maintaining that temperature almost every time I checked. So there wasn't a time when I checked the temperature of the water and it was at, say, 79, 80, or it was down at 76, 77. It was almost always at 78, which tells me that this heater works very well for the full range of 15 to 30 gallons that it is rated for. Now, was there anything that I didn't like so much about this heater? I will say there were a couple things that I didn't like. The two main things that I didn't like, the LCD screen here, very nice, very cool. Now, it has a safety shut-off feature, which is nice. So let's say, for example, your heater kind of goes on the fritz. Sometimes that happens. You might have an electrical issue, you might have a power outage, you might have like a power flicker that causes the heater to go haywire. So what this will do is once it hits that safety shut-off temperature, it will cut off the heater, which is nice. Guess what the safety temperature shut-off is? Any guesses? No. Okay. It's 90 degrees. 90 degrees is the safety shut-off temperature. So the thing that I dislike is that it's 90 degrees. That's way too high. Almost everything in your aquarium will be dead by the time the water temperature hits 90 degrees. And the second thing that I don't like about that is you're not able to set it yourself. So it'll be really nice if you could set the safety shut off to, say, 80 degrees or 81 degrees or 82 degrees, maybe something like that. But the fact that it's static and it's so high is one thing that I dislike. But if you're monitoring your aquarium on a regular basis, as you should, that should never be an issue. But it's something that I definitely wanted to mention. So last but not least, the other thing that I disliked about this heater was can you guess? There are a lot of cords here. Now, I definitely understand the reasoning behind having so many cords and having so much length of cord, right? Because you want to be able to put the probe maybe at one end of your tank, put the heater at the other end of the tank, and I get that. But considering this is rated for aquariums between 15 and 30 gallons, these are smaller tanks. So I'm not quite sure why they had so much cord included with the heater. If you have a setup of a smaller tank like I do with my Fluval Evo that's kind of in the middle of your room and you want to keep everything clean and concise and simple, this might not be the best for you because you're going to have to find a way to hide all these cords. Now, when I use this to heat my new salt water up, I didn't really care about the cords. The heater worked perfectly. And the other nice thing is these cords are heavy duty, right? You feel like you're actually getting some bang for your buck here. This is not a cheap heater. So I will say that's the other thing I disliked about the heater is the amount of cords and the length of cords that they included for relatively small aquariums. So that's all I have for my review of the Hygger quartz heater. This is the HG925. How do you get this guy? You get it on Amazon.com. It is $49.99, but for the next month only, there is a coupon code that will get you 5% off. It's going to be in the video description below, so definitely check that out. I would say that as long as you're okay with managing, the cord management aspect, this is an excellent heater that I feel will work well for you for the foreseeable future. I really like the fact that it has a very simple mechanism to set the desired temperature. I like the fact that it has a separate temperature probe so you can ensure that your aquarium is being heated evenly. And also the heater itself seems just very well built. It's nice that it has that plastic casing around it to keep it protected and all that good stuff. So Hygger here made a really good product. I'm not sure if they've made a lot of heaters in the past. I know they've made lights, especially they've made freshwater lights in the past. but this heater seems to work really well. So definitely check that out if you are able to. I don't get any kickbacks from any of this. Like I said, this is my review straight up if I liked it or didn't like it. And I hope that I gave you guys a really good overview of the heater itself so you can make an informed decision based on your aquarium, based on your needs, if this is the right heater for you. So once again, I am the Fish Tank Guy. Thank you so much for checking out my channel and checking out this video. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Please consider liking this video and stay tuned to the channel, because in the next few weeks, I'm going to finally drop my merch, because I've been posting a little more often and I'm getting more, interaction with the community, and views are up a little bit because I'm posting more than, once every 3 months. So stay tuned to the channel. Thank you guys so much. And until a future Fish Tank Guy video, I will see you guys soon.